Hey loves, welcome back. Today's video we're going to be talking about the new Peanut Butter and Honey palette by TooFaced. I just have to start by saying that the packaging is so cute. It's very similar to the original, and I am going to be showing you side-by-side comparisons if in case you're interested. I did purchase mine during the early platinum release, so that means all platinum members from Ulta that were able to get it. That's when I got this. This was priced at $36. It's the same price as the original Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, and it's such a cute little palette. I just thought to myself, I have the original, but I really like this one, and I just love collecting little palettes like this, especially by TooFaced. I don't have any of their original palettes that they came out with, but I do have the Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, and now I have the Peanut Butter and Honey. And also I created a makeup look using this palette for you guys, so if you would like to know more about this palette and see the look, then go ahead and keep on watching. Today is Sunday, and I did receive this palette on Saturday, which was yesterday. Ulta shipped pretty fast, and it finally came to me yesterday, and at first I was a little hesitant about it, but I wanted to come on here and do a review and a makeup look using this palette for you guys and let you guys know my thoughts about it.
So wow. I can't talk today. As I previously, I can't say the word previously. Woo!
As I've already mentioned, this palette is priced at $36. I did purchase it on Monday for the early access platinum perk, where all the fun platinum members got to purchase this palette, but it is going to be available online at Ulta Beauty March 1st and then in stores March 19th. This palette is actually going to be also exclusive to Ulta Beauty as well. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what's inside the palette, which is super exciting. As you open up the palette, the very first thing you notice is the scent. Now it does smell like peanut butter, but you can actually smell a hint of honey, so hence the name Peanut Butter and Honey. It's not an overpowering strong scent at all, so it's kind of like the Peanut Butter and Jelly palette. It's not as strong. Definitely not as strong as the TooFaced Sweet Peach palette that has come out recently again. Very soft. As you can see from inside the palette, you do get 9 eyeshadows, and 3 of them are supersized, like the nice highlighting shades, if you will.
The first shade is called Sweet as Honey, and it's such a nice beigey, okay. The first shade is called Sweet as Honey, and this one is a beautiful beige. I keep saying beige. It's called Sweet as Honey, and it's such a cute.
The first shade inside the palette is called Sweet as Honey. It's such a beautiful beige shade, but you can see a little bit of a sparkle in there. It's not too much, which I actually appreciate that because I don't want to set my crease and my overall eyelid whenever I'm setting down my primer. I don't want it to have a lot of sparkle in it, so that's a beautiful shade to set down the primer. The next shade is called Queen Bee. Oh, I noticed, first off, let me go ahead and pause for a minute, that the 3 sides on this left side here have 3 different names. Sweet as Honey, Queen Bee, PB, and H. The actual shades have names underneath. This first one is called Creamed Honey, and then the second shade is a pinky shade. It's called Be Sweet. Be Sweet is a nice pinky shade. It's be great for a transition color, or if you're as light as I am, you can also use this and set all over your crease. And then the last shade is called Queen Bee. As I'm going into the makeup look, you will see that I have used each of these shades, but I said different names for them, so the names might be incorrect, but I do show you which shade I'm using as I'm using it. So while these 2 shades are actually a bit warmer in tone, this one is more of a cooler tone, kind of highlight shade, and that's Queen Bee. Queen Bee has a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's not super bam, in your face. Yeah, this is a really nice sheen, but it looks like a cooler tone kind of highlight, but I did use this in the inner corner and it looked beautiful. Moving on to the next 6 shades, which is right over here, you have Peanut Butter. Peanut Butter in this palette looks actually a little more cooler tone than in the Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, and I'll show it to you right now because I have it right here next to me. This is the original Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, and I don't know if you can tell, but the peanut butter shade in the original Peanut Butter and Jelly palette is more warmer than the peanut butter shade in this new palette. Then you have Honey Brittle. Honey Brittle is actually one of my favorites in this palette because it's such a nice corally peachy kind of shade. I use this all over the crease just to warm up the look, and it's just such a pretty color. Next one is Honey Buns, which is a nice yellowy shade. Now, when I saw this shade, I thought it was kind of different because it looked like that pop of color that Too Faced likes to put into their eyeshadow palette, so I thought it was really cute to use. Going Nuts, it's a nice dark bronzy shade. Thought that was a really beautiful shade. Bee's Knees is another favorite of mine. It's such a beautiful warm peanut butter shade, but this one has a few specks of gold in it, and I thought that it was really cute. A nice sweet touch to it. Feeling Nutty is the last shade, and this one is reminding me of a nice cooler tone mustard kind of color. Those kinds of colors that everyone's loving nowadays, and I thought that was a really cool color. But you will see in the makeup look, I do use every single one of these shades. I wanted to use every single shade in this makeup look and just make it fun. Now you guys know already that every one of these palettes come with its own mirror, but as you can see from my original, I don't ever take this booklet out or use the mirror. I do use the mirror if I tend to go to travel, so these palettes are so cute, so small and convenient. You can just close it up, throw it in your bag, and go. Now these are also magnetically closed, and it's super small and it just closes very easily. Now if you were to do comparisons between the two, you will notice that the original Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly palette has more warmer tone shades, and this one is slightly pulling to the cooler, pinkier kind of side of shades. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but that's what I see when I'm looking at the palette. I'm gonna drop the palette. I absolutely loved the original Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, and I thought it would be a nice little addition to get this one and put it right next to it and just kind of compare it side by side and look at the differences between the two. You can definitely tell just by looking at the palettes that the highlighting shades are a lot more lighter, and you have a little bit more of a shade to set down the primer in place and put your transitions in your crease. You have more shades that are closer to one kind of shade than when you do for this one. The original Peanut Butter and Jelly palette has that gold shade at the top right here in the middle, not at the top. But this one's a beautiful shade, but it's not necessarily a highlighting shade unless you are of a deeper skin tone, because I know most likely lighter skinned girls can't really benefit from a gold highlight, but this will be beautiful just to place along the lid. Whereas in the Peanut Butter and Honey palette, these shades are more in the range of highlighting because they're a lot lighter and just a lot easier to work with to put all over the lids and all over the crease. Do you need this palette in your life? I will let you be the judge of that, because if you're a makeup junkie like me, you just love collecting little palettes, and Too Faced's palettes are super cute. I love their packaging, and if you're like me and you love the original Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, you should definitely try to purchase the Peanut Butter and Honey palette, only because I have a love for Too Faced and I have a love for makeup and I have a love for cuteness. I love the whole concept of it and the colors, and I really think that it's worth a shot if you want to try it out. It might not be everyone's cup of tea because there are a lot of basics in this palette that you can already get by using this palette. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the makeup look. I really hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think, and if you would like to see how to get this makeup look, then please go ahead and keep on watching. Alright guys, so I already did all of my face makeup because I wanted to get that out of the way, because this video is going to be specifically on the eyes using the Peanut Butter and Honey palette by Too Faced. I'm so excited to try this for the very first time, and let's go ahead and get started. So first off, when I first smell it, as soon as you open the palette, it smells just like peanut butter with like a hint of honey. It's not super powerful smelling. Alright, I zoomed you in just a little bit closer so we can get started on the eyes. I'm going to start off by priming the eyes with the MAC Painterly Paint Pot. So you can definitely use any primer of your choice. Also use any kind of concealer of your choice to just set down as a base, and then use a translucent powder or anything like that to set it. I'm only priming one eye. I need to prime the other eye too. I've been using the Painterly Paint Pot a lot lately because I love the color of the base that it gives me, and I feel like it's less drying than the soft ochre, which I don't ever use. It's like sitting in my drawer and I never use it. So the first shade I'm going to be taking to set the primer in place is Sweet as Honey, which is this color right here. It's a beautiful beigey color. I noticed that Sweet as Honey does have a little bit of shimmer in it, but it's not super shimmery, and you can probably see it. Hopefully you can. I don't know if you can see it as I'm as I'm setting down my primer. I'm putting the eyeshadow on top. There's a little bit of flecks of glitter in it. And those were dogs. I did notice that when you dip your brush into the eyeshadow, there is a little bit of kick up, but it's not too much. It can get a little bit messy. Hopefully that doesn't bother you. It doesn't really bother me because I just go and blow it away. The next, as my transition color, I'm taking Queen Bee, which is this one right here. It's such a beautiful pinky light shade. I think that makes a beautiful crease shade. My dogs are going crazy. So this shade, as soon as I swirled my brush in it, a lot of kick up came up. So it's very powdery, but I'm going to go ahead and take that and apply it all over the crease. So the next shade I'm taking to kind of darken up the crease a little bit. I want to start building the colors in my crease. The next shade I'm taking is Honey Brittle, which is this one right here. This reminds me of a very light peachy corally kind of shade, and I think it would make a beautiful shade in the crease. So I'm going to take the same blending brush, and as I'm putting the blending brush in, a lot of kick up. So you might want to be careful with that. And always make sure dust off your brush, tap off the excess, because it might make a mess. It's a nice peachy shade. The next shade going into the crease is Peanut Butter, which is this shade right over here. This one actually looks a little more cooler toned than the Peanut Butter shade in the other palette, but the Peanut Butter shade in this palette looks a little bit more cooler toned than the Peanut Butter shade in the original palette. And I'm going to take a more tapered blending brush into my crease to do that. I'm trying to use as many shades as I can because I feel like a lot of these would just blend into each other really nicely. So I'm going to be taking Going Nuts, which is this darker shade over here. This is just going to go in the outer corner and into the crease just a little bit to darken it up. And I'm going to take a smaller tapered brush to do that. Back in with my first blending brush and just blend the top just a little bit so it's nicely blended, and there are no harsh lines. This look can go smoky really quick, so I'm just going to leave it like that and move on to the lid shade. And I'm going to take the Bee's Knees. Well, it's Bee's Knees, not the Bee's Knees, but it's Bee's Knees, and that's this one right here. It's such a beautiful, warm. This one reminds me a lot of the Peanut Butter shade in this palette. Not the Peanut Butter one, but the Nuts About You palette. This one has a little bit of gold sparkle in it. So I'm going to take that all over the lid and see how that looks. This is a very pigmented shade, but it's such a pretty shade. You only notice a little bit of gold sparkles, not too much. I like to pat my eyeshadow onto my lid instead of swiping because the fallout you can get. Because I don't know if you can tell, if you are a bully with your eyeshadows and dip the brush in the shadow too hard, you'll get lots of kick up like that. That is a gorgeous shade. It's very warm. So I'm going to go back in with the shades Honey Brittle and Peanut Butter. Wait, no. Honey Brittle and Peanut Butter. These two shades right here. And I'm going to go back in and start warming up my crease a little bit more. Then I'm going back in with the same outer corner shade I took, which is Going Nuts, which is that one right here, and deepening up the outer corners just a little bit. Now for the inner corners, I do want to try Honey Buns, which is this beautiful yellow shade. Like a banana shade. It's so cute, Honey Buns. I'm going to take this with a pencil brush and I'm going to apply this into the inner corner of my eyelid. It actually applies very lightly on top of the warmer shade, kind of like a gold. I'm going to take the shade Queen Bee, which is this one right here, and I'm going to apply that into the inner corners and probably mix it in with Sweet as Honey because this one is showing a little more cooler toned. So I'm going to mix these two as an inner corner and brow bone highlight. Now for the lower lash line, I'm going to be taking Feeling Nutty. Everyone loves cooler tone, mustardy kind of shades like this. I'm going to take this on the lower lash line with a small pencil brush. I'm going to also mix Honey Buns, which is this yellow color, and put that a little bit on top of Feeling Nutty. And there you have it. I've used every single color in the eyeshadow palette of Peanut Butter and Honey, and wow. I love how warm it is, and it's nice that they include a yellowy color because it just makes you want to think, like, what can I pair that color with? You know, a yellow honey bun, yellow banana kind of color. Next, I'm going to apply liquid eyeliner, and for that, I'm going to be using the Lorac Front of the Line Pro liquid liner. This is the felt tip kind, and I love this liner. It's so good. This is in brown, and I thought it would pair nicely with this look. Eyeliner is done, and for mascara, I'm going to be using the Benefit Roller Lash. You can definitely choose to pass on false lashes if you'd like and go the natural lash way. But today I'm going to be using these by Allure in collab with the vlogger series, Miss Nikki Philippi. And I thought these were really pretty and wispy, and I haven't tried these yet, so I thought they would be really nice to try for today's look. And voila! So this is the completed look using the Peanut Butter and Honey palette. I hope you guys enjoy the look and my overall thoughts and review on this palette. Please let me know what you think down below in the comment section. I love reading comments from you guys. It just means so much to me. And let me know if you're going to be picking this baby up. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to my channel before you leave. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!